One of the great gifts that my wife and I discovered when we came here to Rockharbor in the fall of 2022 was a core group of people who had traveled through some ups and downs with one another. And we were so moved by that because we recognized it as something very similar to the church that we'd come from. I was in Colorado Springs for 22 years, and I was at a church that had been through a lot. 6 years into our life there at the church, the founding senior pastor had a pretty public scandal. 13 months after that, there was a shooting that took place on the campus. And so, but we watched people, certainly some people left, but we watched people rally together and commit to one another and care for one another. And then, fast forward all the years later, by the time we left, we'd been there an additional 15, 16 years after that. And we saw the fruit of what happens when you stick through hard times with one another. And we recognize that same sort of spirit or that same sort of pattern here at Rockharbor, where a group of people said, you know what, yeah, we've been through a lot. There's been some upheaval, there's been some transitions, but ultimately our commitment is to one another. And it makes me think of all of those scriptures in the New Testament where Paul, in particular, talks about the one another, be kind to one another, forgiving one another, love one another. And that's essentially, at its core, what the church is meant to be, is the one anotherness. In fact, I was reading a New Testament scholar, Nijay Gupta, comment on this, that outside of the Gospels, the word disciple isn't really used. After the book of Acts, the term Christian isn't even used. What becomes the favorite term of referring to Christians, believers is one of them, but really the more popular one is brothers and sisters. It's adelphoi, it's that word for siblings. And I think that's the thing we want to try to recover is church not as a product we consume, church not as content even that we take in, but church is a community to which we belong, a community of siblings, of sisters and brothers that we are committing to, that we're trying to travel through life. Now, I know there's changes that happen, there's jobs, and transitions can be healthy and can be good. But if we would leave well, then we give ourselves the best shot at arriving well and then investing in the next community.